Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Solutions Nerds. In this video, I am going to show you how you can fix this problem in Java along a substring without repeating characters. So without wasting any time, let's get started. First of all, what is the problem? So we have a given string to a function, and that function will be responsible to find the length of the longest substring without a duplicate characters. So for example, we have a string defggft, and the output must be 4 because defg is the longest substring here, because gft is count 3 and defg is 4. So our longest substring is 4 because we found g at the index 5. So in here in the programming set we will say in index 4, but you are understanding this is 5. Let's get started. First of all, we need to define a function here. I will say static, and we need a return type to get our longest substring count, and that will be end. And here we need to define the function name. The function name will be longest substring finder, and we will pass a string to it, and the name will be s. Now in here I will use hashset, but if you want to use a large data set, you need to use linked hashset because it is not disturbing the order. But if you use hashset for large data set, it will not preserve the input order the way you enter the data to that hashset. But this is just a small program. I will use hashset here, so I will say hashset, and we are dealing with the characters, so I will say characters, and name will be hashset is equal to new hashset. After this you can use integer, but in here in this tutorial for understanding I will use string. You can use end, and that is a bit tricky, but right now I will use string, and we will assign longest substring, and we will assign an empty right now. Another thing, we need an int, and that will be index. Later on I will show you why we need this. In here you can use for each loop, but sometimes a newcomer to programming do not know how to handle for each loop. Later on I will show you, but right now I will use for loop here. So I will say for, and it will be int I is equal to 0, I is less than, and we need to less than to the string we got in that parameter, which is s dot length and I plus plus. Now after this we need to check hashset for duplicate value. If we found a duplicate value in a hashset, we need to remove that, and then we need to enter that value to the longest substring if that value is greater than longest substring. For example, if this hashset value is 3 and this hashset value is 2, we need to transfer our hashset to this longest substring, and that will be our longest substring. Now how you can do that? For example, first of all we will say if not hashset dot is empty. If it is not empty, also and hashset dot contains s dot. Now in here remember one thing, hashset not accepting any index. Here you can see object only accepting object. If you transfer I, it will not working. So we will need to check for objects. So we will say s dot and chart a special function for the string where we will get only one character. So we will say chart, and now we will pass I. Now in here we need to check if the hashset length is greater than longest substring. We will assign hashset to the longest substring. So for that, if longest substring dot length, we will first find out the longest substring length, and we need to check if it is less than hashset dot size. So we found another longest substring. We will say longest substring is equal to, and we need to define another function here to convert our hashset to a string. So we will say get substring, and we will pass our hashset here. We will define that later. After this we need a while loop here, so we will say while. So why we need while loop here? Our while loop will be running until we remove that duplicate value from our hashset. So we will say in here hashset dot contains, and we need to transfer object here. We will say s dot chart. If that hashset contain this character, this loop will be running. If we remove that character from the hashset, this while loop will be stopped. We will transfer I. So we define an index here. So we need to start from the index 0 and go to that duplicate value. So we will say hashset dot remove, and now we will pass here index. But in here you can see I pass index. This is wrong. We need to pass an object, and that will be s dot choret, and we need to pass index here. We need to remove the character from the hashset, not the index. After this we need to index plus plus. Now after this we need to transfer our duplicate value inside the hashset, and we will say hashset dot add, and we will say s dot choret, and we will pass I here. Why we are doing this? So in here you can see defg here, right? So we will need to remove all these values. Once we reach to this and g is removed, we need to enter this g again in here to the hashset. So we use this. After this, if we do not have any duplicates, we will say else, and we need to pass our hashset dot add, and we say s dot choret I. After this, at the end, if we do not find any duplicates, for example the substring is a b c d e f g, we need to also add this 3-line code here. If it is going like this, it will say if the longest substring is less than hashset dot side, it will assign that to longest substring. Now let's define this function get substring here to transfer, and we need to return here. Because we will say return longest substring dot length, and we need to define that function. We will say static, and the name, it will return a string, and the name will be that, and it will accept hashset, and the type was character, and we will say s. To transfer a hashset to a string, we need a string builder. A string builder, and say string builder is equal to new string builder. Now in here, let me show you how for each loop works. For example, we say for, like for loop. Then in here, you need to define what are you dealing. Now in here, we are dealing with character. We will define a char. If you are dealing in integer, you need to define an int. If you are dealing with the string, you need to define here a character or string. If you are dealing with anything like float, you need to define a float. If you are dealing with a double, we need to define here a double. For that, we will say char, and what we need to search a value, we will transfer our s here. Now in here, we need to call that string builder dot. In here, we need to append it, and we need to transfer our c here. So it will just get at every index a value and assign to c, and then that c will be assigned to that string builder. After this, we will return, we'll say return string builder dot toString. Now let's run our program. It is working fine or not. So in the main function, we will call that. So we will say south, and we will say longest string finder, and we need to pass the value. For right now, we will pass our example value defggft, and let's run it. Now in here you can see our value is 4 because defg is our longest value. So let me just in here, before the return, we will say south, and we will say longest substring. We will see what is the longest substring. So let's run it again. And here you can see defg, and it is the longest here. You can use another value right here. We'll say copy, and again control B, and we will say for example abc, and cc. Let's see here. So in here the answer must be 3. Here you can see, and that is abc as the longest substring here. So hope you liked the video. If you have any question, comment down below, and if you are new to the channel, subscribe, and have a good day. Thanks for watching.